I'm going to go through and show you how to create a class team in Microsoft Teams. So first of all, you'll need to have Microsoft Teams either installed or you'll be needing to use the web version, which you can access by going to your webmail and then clicking on the Office apps and choosing Teams. When you load it up, you should see something like this. There are a couple of other ways of displaying this information, but you should basically see all of your teams listed. By default, you will have been added to your school team, and then you may have been added to some other teams as well. So to create a new class team for your students, you click on the button up here in the top right-hand corner called Join or Create Team. And then if you've got a team that you're joining, then you would enter a team code, but we're actually going to create one. So I'll click on this button here, Create Team. We are going to have a class team because this is for our students, and this gives us a higher level of control over what can be accessed and changed, etc. So if we click on class team, then we have the opportunity to name our team. So I'm going to call this test team. Your school will probably have a naming convention for what you should call your teams. I'm going to call it Test Team 2022. And then just click Next. Now, at this stage, once it's finished doing its little creating thing, you're going to have the ability to add other people to your team. So this here, you can add students, or here you can add teachers. Now you can paste in names of students or start typing them in individually. But I actually think that there's a few easier ways to add people to your team. So if you've got a large group, I'm going to give you some better ways, but you can type in names here of students and it will come up. I do suggest, however, if you've got an EA or your team teaching in some way, that you add other teachers into your team here as well. I'm not going to add anyone else at this time, so I'm just going to click on Skip. So now we've got our class team. You can set a little picture for your team by editing over here. Let's just give my team a nice pretty picture. Let's say it's drama here. Update. Saves the changes. Now what you've got here is you've got the ability to have a class notebook, which means that it's OneNote class notebook that's embedded in the team, and setting it up through Teams is just a little bit simpler than setting up a class notebook through the OneNote class notebook setup process. So we can do that now. If we click on here, set up class notebook, it's going to take a minute while it just goes through and gives us the option to either create from an existing notebook or a blank one. I'm going to go for a blank one here. It tells you this is the spaces that you're going to have and allows you to change the sections that each student will have in their section. So I'm going to leave mine to say that they're just going to have class notes and homework, for instance. And I'm going to create. Now, when you add students to your team, their class notebook is going to be created automatically. If you want more information about Class Notebook and how to use it, then I've got some other videos that you might like to have a look at. And it goes through what you can do with Class Notebook. The next thing you've got access to is assignments. I'm going to do a video that goes into assignments in more detail, so don't worry about it too much right now. Grades, which is linked to assignments, and insights, which can tell you a little bit about your students, but we don't have anyone added to the team at this point in time. We also have a general channel, which is where you would post some conversations and information. So the first thing you should do is modify the channel settings so that only you can post into that channel. So if you click on the three dots and then manage channel, you then go to only owners can post messages. I think that's pretty important. So we've set that up now, and now we may like to add some people to our team. So what we can do is get a link to the team and you can post that. Then students will click on that and ask to join the team, and you will then have to approve people who have requested. What can be simpler is go here to manage team and then click on the settings and go to team code and click on generate. What you can do now is give this code to your students, and when they go into the front page of Teams and they click join or create team, they can enter that team code and you won't have to approve it. So you can have that team code there, and then once all of the students are in, you can remove it so that they no longer can add anybody into the team. I'm going to leave that there, but I'm going to go through a whole heap more information on setting up the basic settings in a team and a few other helpful things with Teams over the coming videos. So keep an eye out.